Stop spending your $1 coins right now, because some of these exact coins, yes, the ones sitting in your pocket, have secretly sold for over $100,000. And the craziest part? Most people still don't know what to look for. Not every $1 coin is valuable, but if it has a rare error, low mintage, or unusual design, it could be worth thousands. Before you spend your next dollar coin, check it carefully, because one tiny mistake could turn $1 into a life-changing payday. Where history, power, and money collide, today we unlock the complete untold story of the United States $1 1978 coin, a coin that marked the end of an era and the closing chapter of a powerful American legacy. This is not just a dollar. This is the final voice of the Eisenhower dollar, a coin born from war, leadership, space exploration, and national pride. And if you are holding one right now, you are holding the last breath of a heavyweight dollar that once symbolized American strength. This story begins long before 1978, and it begins with President Dwight D. Eisenhower, Supreme Allied Commander hero of World War II, and a man whose leadership shaped the modern United States after his death in 1969. America demanded a coin that could carry his legacy into the future, and thus, the Eisenhower dollar was born in 1971, large, bold, heavy, and proud. It was the first $1 coin struck since the peace dollar era, and it carried something never seen before on a circulating U.S. coin: the image of Earth and an eagle landing on the moon, honoring the Apollo 11 mission and the American triumph in space. The Eisenhower dollar became a moving monument of metal linking military victory, presidential authority, and space-age ambition. By the time 1978 arrived, the coin was already fighting for survival. Vending machines rejected it, wallets avoided it, and the public found it too large, too heavy, and inconvenient. Yet the mint continued production, knowing that this would be the final year of the Eisenhower dollar. In 1978, the United States Mint struck Eisenhower dollars at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with Philadelphia and Denver producing coins for circulation and San Francisco producing proof and uncirculated collector issues. These coins were composed of copper nickel-clad layers bonded to a pure copper core, giving the coin its distinct weight and sound. Unlike earlier special collector versions from 1971 to 1976 that included silver, the 1978 issues were strictly base metal for circulation, yet their importance was historic because they marked the official end of the Eisenhower dollar series and the end of large-size dollar coins in the United States forever. The obverse of the 1978 $1 coin features a powerful portrait of Eisenhower facing left, strong, calm, and resolute, designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, whose initials FG appear discreetly on the coin. The reverse shows a bold eagle descending toward the moon, holding an olive branch with Earth rising in the background, a design inspired directly by the Apollo 11 mission insignia. And above the eagle are the words, United States of America and $1, while e pluribus unum rests to the side. Symbolizing unity from many, the edge of the coin is reeded, reinforcing its connection to classic American silver dollars of the past. In 1978, over 30 million coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, over 33 million at the Denver Mint, and additional proof and uncirculated coins at San Francisco. Yet despite these numbers, many were lost to melting circulation damage and neglect collectors. Today, search for high-grade examples, error coins, and proof strikes with deep cameo contrast, because condition is everything. With the 1978 Eisenhower dollar high mint state coins, with full luster, sharp details, and no contact marks, can command strong premiums, while proof versions, especially with mirror-like fields and frosted devices, remain favorites among collectors worldwide, and errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, doubled dies, and die cracks elevate this final year dollar into a serious collectible category. The story of the 1978 $1 coin does not end at mintage. It ends with transition, because in 1979 the Eisenhower dollar was replaced by the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar, marking a dramatic shift in U.S. coinage philosophy, smaller, lighter, and more modern, yet many argue less iconic. The Eisenhower dollar was the last true heir to the great silver dollars of the 19th and early 20th centuries, and the 1978 issue stands as the closing chapter, the final strike, the last echo of a time when a dollar felt powerful in the hand. This coin represents the end of big money, bold designs, and national storytelling through circulating coinage. It is a bridge between the old America and the modern age, and for collectors, historians, and investors, the 1978 U.S. $1 coin is not just spare change, it is history. You can hold a symbol of leadership, space, exploration, and the final stand of a legendary dollar. And as you look at this coin, remember you are not just seeing metal, you are witnessing the end of an era, and that is what makes the 1978 United States $1 coin truly unforgettable. The 1978 United States $1 coin becomes more than a final year issue. It becomes a mirror reflecting the economic, cultural, and political climate of America. In the late 1970s, this was a nation emerging from the Vietnam War, adjusting to a new global balance dealing with inflation, energy crises, and shifting public trust, and the Eisenhower dollar quietly carried all of that weight in its metal form. Americans were changing how they spent money. Paper currency was preferred, convenience ruled daily life, and the idea of a large, heavy coin no longer matched modern habits. Yet the symbolism engraved into the 1978 dollar remained massive because it carried the image of a general turned president, a man associated with stability, discipline, and victory, and on the reverse it carried the moon landing, the ultimate proof that America could still lead the world into the future even during uncertain times. The production of the 1978 Eisenhower dollar followed years of public resistance, but also years of collector fascination. Banks often stored bags of these coins untouched, meaning many survived in uncirculated condition. Yet most entered circulation where they were quickly worn, scratched, and overlooked. Children spent them vending. Machines rejected them, and many ended up forgotten in drawers and jars. This uneven survival rate is why condition plays such a powerful role today. A circulated 1978 dollar tells the story of everyday America, while a pristine mint-state example tells the story of preservation, intention, and foresight. Collectors now study strike quality, luster, surface marks, and rim integrity because these coins were large and easily damaged. Bag marks are common, and finding one with clean fields is increasingly difficult proof. Versions struck at the San Francisco Mint were made specifically for collectors using specially prepared dies and polished planchets, resulting in sharp details, mirror fields, and frosted devices. These proof coins represent the highest artistic expression of the Eisenhower dollar series, and deep cameo examples where the contrast is bold and dramatic are especially prized error coins from 1978, add another layer of intrigue. Doubled die obverses show subtle doubling on lettering and dates, while off-metal strikes and misaligned dies reveal the imperfections of the minting process, turning ordinary coins into rare conversation pieces. The edge reading, thickness, and weight are carefully measured by specialists because even minor deviations can signal a valuable anomaly. The value of the 1978 $1 coin is rooted not only in rarity but in symbolism. It was the last dollar coin to honor a 20th century president until later commemorative efforts, and it was the final chapter of a design that united war, peace, and space exploration on one coin. The eagle landing on the moon was not accidental. It was a message to the world that America had arrived beyond Earth, and the olive branch reminded viewers that power could also mean peace. This balance of strength and diplomacy defined the Eisenhower era, and the coin carried that philosophy into every transaction. However brief after 1978, the dollar coin would never be the same. Smaller designs followed, modern aesthetics took over, and the emotional weight of coinage shifted for many collectors. The Eisenhower dollar, especially the 1978 issue, represents the last time a circulating U.S. coin felt monumental in both Size and meaning holding it today feels like holding a relic from a turning point in history, a time when America closed one chapter and cautiously opened another. And for investors, the 1978 $1 coin offers steady appeal, because final year issues always attract attention as collections grow and supplies tighten. Demand continues to rise, particularly for high-grade examples certified by major grading services. These coins are now encapsulated, preserved, and studied, ensuring that their story will continue for future generations. And as this 2-hour journey unfolds, every detail of the 1978 United States $1 coin reveals why it deserves respect, why it commands attention, and why it remains one of the most important modern-era coins ever struck. Because this is not just the end of a series. It is the final statement of a powerful design philosophy. And when you understand that, you realize this coin was never meant to disappear. It was meant to be remembered. Imagine holding a heavy, cold piece of American history in your hand, a coin that feels different from modern money, a coin that carries the weight of war, victory, space, exploration, political change, and the final echoes of America's silver era. This is the story of the United States $1 coin dated 1972, a coin that most people overlook, yet one that silently connects the end of World War II, the Cold War, the moon landing, and the transformation of American currency. And if you think this dollar is just pocket change, think again, because behind its bold portrait and massive size is a story so deep, so detailed, and so powerful that it can carry you through hours of discovery, collecting mystery and forgotten value. This is the Eisenhower dollar, and this is where its journey truly begins. The 1972 $1 coin was born in a time when America was redefining itself, the Vietnam War was ongoing. The Cold War shaped every political decision, and the space race had already placed American boots on the moon just 3 years earlier. This coin was created to honor General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander who led the invasion of Normandy and later became the 34th President of the United States, making this dollar the first circulating American coin to honor a president who had already placed American boots on the moon just 3 years earlier. This coin was created to honor General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander who led the invasion of Normandy, and later became the 34th President of the United States, making this dollar the first circulating American coin to honor a president who had served as a military hero and a modern political leader. The choice of Eisenhower was no accident, because he represented strength, unity, victory, and stability qualities America wanted to project during a tense and uncertain era. The obverse of the coin features a powerful left-facing portrait of Eisenhower, designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, and the design captures both authority and calm resolve with bold lettering spelling liberty and the date, 1972, while "In God We Trust" appears proudly reminding citizens of national values. During troubled times, the reverse of the coin is where the story becomes even more extraordinary, because instead of a traditional eagle, it features an eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch, a direct tribute to the Apollo 11 mission and the peaceful intentions of American space exploration. This design was adapted from the Apollo 11 mission insignia, making the Eisenhower dollar the first circulating U.S. coin to directly celebrate space travel and the moon landing. The Earth appears in the background, showing the Western Hemisphere, reinforcing America's global presence and influence at the height of the Cold War. This was not just a coin, it was a message to the world. The 1972 Eisenhower dollar was struck in multiple varieties and compositions, adding layers of complexity that collectors study for years. Most circulating examples were made of copper-nickel clad but special collector versions were struck in 40% silver, making this coin one of the last U.S. dollars to contain silver, albeit in limited form. These silver issues were sold to collectors and never intended for everyday circulation, marking a clear shift away from precious metal money and toward modern fiat currency. The Philadelphia Mint struck coins without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint added a D, and the San Francisco Mint produced both proof and silver versions with an S mint mark. Each mint produced coins with subtle differences, and 1972 is especially famous for its three major reverse design varieties, known as Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3, which differ in the details of the Earth on the reverse, especially the shape and islands near Florida. These varieties were created because the original Earth design was based on a crude model, and later corrected, resulting in distinct collectible differences that can dramatically affect value. Collectors hunt these varieties with magnification and passion because finding the rarer Type 2 reverse can transform an ordinary-looking dollar into a highly desirable treasure. The size and weight of the Eisenhower dollar also tell a story because at over 38 millimeters wide, it was large, heavy, and unfamiliar to a public that had grown used to smaller coins. Indeed, Americans found it inconvenient to carry, which ultimately limited its success in circulation. Despite its bold symbolism, the Eisenhower dollar struggled to gain everyday use and often sat in banks, casinos, and collectors' drawers untouched. This lack of circulation ironically preserved many examples in high condition, making mint state coins common, yet specific varieties and pristine proofs remain highly valuable. The 1972 issue sits at the center of the series and represents the peak of production before changes in design details and minting practices took place. It reflects a moment when America still believed in big, bold money coins that made a statement and carried national pride. As years passed, the Eisenhower dollar would be replaced by the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar, but none would ever again match the physical presence and historical weight of the Eisenhower dollar. Today, the 1972 $1 coin stands as a bridge between eras connecting silver and clad war and peace, earth and moon circulation and collection. It is a coin that rewards knowledge, patience, and attention to detail, and it invites collectors to slow down, examine closely, and learn deeply. Whether found in a roll inherited from a relative or purchased intentionally, this dollar carries a story far bigger than its face value. It is the story of American power, American innovation, and American change captured in metal and preserved for generations. And as you continue to explore this coin, you will realize that the 1972 Eisenhower dollar is not just money. It is history. You can hold history you can study, and history that never stops revealing more the deeper you look. American coin, a journey that could change how you see money forever. In the year 1974, the United States was in a time of transition. Politically, economically, and culturally, the nation was still grappling with the aftermath of the Vietnam War. President Richard Nixon had resigned in disgrace due to the Watergate scandal, and the American public was facing inflation and recession. In the midst of all this uncertainty, the U.S. Mint continued its mission of producing coinage for circulation and collectors, and one such coin that emerged in this turbulent year was the 1974 $1 coin, commonly known as the Eisenhower dollar, named in honor of the 34th President of the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower. This coin carries more than just a monetary value. It carries a story of a changing America and a shift in the world of numismatics. The Eisenhower dollar series began in 1971 and continued until 1978. The coin was introduced to commemorate both President Eisenhower and the Apollo 11 moon landing of 1969. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, designed by Frank Gasparro, who was the chief engraver of the United States Mint. At the time, the reverse of the coin depicts an eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its talons, a tribute to the Apollo 11 mission designed to echo the mission insignia. By 1974, the Eisenhower dollar had already seen circulation for 3 years, but it was still not widely accepted by the public as a convenient coin for everyday use. It was large, heavy, and not easily carried in wallets or coin purses. As a result, its primary circulation was often limited to casinos, particularly in Las Vegas, where the coin became a favorite for slot machines. However, this limited acceptance did not diminish its historical importance. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint produced coins with different characteristics. Philadelphia and Denver struck coins for general circulation, while San Francisco produced proof and uncirculated collector versions. The Philadelphia coins bear no mint mark. The Denver coins are marked with a D, and the San Francisco coins are marked with an S. The 1974 issue was notable for continuing the use of copper nickel-clad composition for circulation coins, while some earlier Eisenhower dollars had been struck in 40% silver for collectors by 1974. The mint was focusing on the more economical copper nickel-clad planchets, which were composed of an outer layer of copper nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. Among collectors, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar is of particular interest due to several factors, including mintage numbers, production quality, strike characteristics, and varieties. One notable variety is the presence of strong versus weak strikes in coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Some 1974 Eisenhower dollars from Philadelphia were weakly struck, which resulted in less detail in Eisenhower's hair and facial features. These weak strikes can be less desirable to collectors unless they are preserved in uncirculated condition or have other redeeming qualities such as a rare die variety or mint error. Errors in 1974 Eisenhower dollars include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, and clipped planchets. These mint errors are always of interest to collectors because they represent anomalies in the minting process and can increase the value of a coin significantly depending on severity and rarity. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1974 Eisenhower dollar lies in its historical and cultural context. America in the early 1970s was a nation searching for identity, post-war politically destabilized and economically troubled, yet still aiming for space exploration and technological advancement. The Eisenhower dollar as a large, bold coin represented strength and legacy, but the public largely rejected its size and weight as impractical. This contrast between symbolic significance and everyday utility is one of the key factors in understanding why the Eisenhower dollar never truly caught on in mainstream use, despite being backed by a rich narrative. Numismatically, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar has moderate rarity in circulated condition, but becomes significantly more valuable in high mint state grades, especially MS-66 and above. Finding a Philadelphia minted 1974 dollar in MS-66 can be challenging and thus commands a premium price due to the mint's relatively lower production quality at that time. Similarly, the San Francisco minted proof coins are collectible, especially if they exhibit deep cameo contrast and flawless surfaces. The Eisenhower dollar series also holds a special place in the transition between silver and base metal coinage. The move to copper nickel-clad marked a permanent shift in American coin production, reflecting the economic constraints of the era and signaling the end of silver as a standard material in circulating U.S. coins. The influence of Eisenhower himself should not be overlooked. He was a 5-star general, a World War II hero, and a president who presided over a period of immense growth and global positioning for the United States. His presence on the dollar coin symbolizes strength, integrity, and leadership, and aligns the coin with a powerful image that collectors appreciate and honor. In numismatic circles, the Eisenhower dollar was once considered an underappreciated series, but that has changed in recent decades with renewed interest in 70s-era coinage and historical commemoratives. Collectors have come to see the Eisenhower dollar as a bridge between the old silver dollars and the modern small dollar coins, like the Susan B. Anthony, the Sacagawea, and the Presidential Dollar series. This rising appreciation has made 1974 Eisenhower dollars a subject of study for their design production history, and collecting potential professional grading services now certify thousands of these coins every year, and registry sets compete for the highest grades, making pristine examples more valuable than ever for coin roll hunters and casual collectors alike. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar presents an exciting opportunity, while many circulated examples may have modest value. The thrill of discovering a rare high-grade coin or a dramatic mint error keeps the interest alive and ensures the continued fascination with this bold and historic piece of American coinage. Today, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar continues to be a favorite among those who appreciate American history, military legacy, space exploration, and presidential commemoration. It represents an era of ambition, resilience, and transition, and while it may not be found in every pocket or wallet, its story endures through the hands of collectors, historians, and those who seek to preserve the legacy of American currency. From design to mintage, from rejection to rediscovery, the journey of the 1974 $1 coin is a lesson in how coins reflect not just economic exchange, but cultural memory, symbolism, and national pride. It is more than metal. It is a monument in miniature. And as we explore further, you will hear rare interviews, expert commentary, and true collector stories that shed light on how $1 from 1974 became a treasured piece of numismatic heritage. Stay tuned, because this journey has only just begun. This is not just any coin. This is the legendary 1976 bicentennial $1 coin, and what lies behind its design, production, circulation, and numismatic journey will leave you stunned. This isn't just about money, it's about history struck in metal, a piece of American spirit you can hold in your hand, and today we'll uncover it all from the roots to the rarest versions, every minting twist, and the treasure hunters who dedicate their lives to finding the most perfect 1976 dollar ever made. The 1976 $1 coin holds a unique and powerful place in American numismatic history. It was created during a time of great celebration and national reflection, when the United States of America marked its 200th anniversary of independence. With a spirit of unity, pride, and remembrance, the U.S. Mint wanted to produce something that would represent this milestone, not just on paper or in speeches, but in physical metal, something that every American could see, touch, and carry. The result was the 1976 bicentennial coinage, a special series of quarters, half dollars, and $1 coins that featured brand-new reverse designs celebrating the country's birth and journey. The $1 coin chosen for this honor was the Eisenhower dollar, named after President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who had passed away only a few years before and whose image first appeared on the dollar. In 1971, the decision to redesign the reverse of the Eisenhower dollar for 1976 was symbolic. It connected the military leader turned president with the celebration of freedom and democracy that America was preparing to commemorate. This new reverse featured the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon, symbolizing both American independence and the country's achievements in space exploration, including the moon landing of 1969, which had occurred just a few years before the design was created by Dennis R. Williams, a 22-year-old student whose work was chosen from a nationwide design competition. His art would go on to be seen by millions and held in hands across the nation and even across the globe. Now, the story of the 1976 $1 coin begins far earlier than its official release. It begins with planning from the U.S. Mint and the Treasury Department. In the early 1970s, they needed to coordinate the massive production and redesign efforts for three major coins: the quarter, the half dollar, and the dollar. And unlike normal coin production, this series would carry a dual date rather than simply the year of minting. Every coin would read 1776 to 1976 to mark the bicentennial. The Mint also planned to strike these coins in both copper-nickel-clad compositions for circulation and special silver-clad versions for collectors. The silver versions would be struck at the San Francisco Mint and offered in proof and uncirculated sets that would become highly desirable among collectors for their beautiful finishes and low mintage numbers. As production began, one of the key concerns was striking quality. The large size of the Eisenhower dollar made it difficult to produce without flattening some of the design elements especially. On coins meant for circulation, the high relief of the Liberty Bell and the moon was challenging to achieve with clarity, and so many coins from this era show weakness in those areas, collectors would later come to judge these coins not just by date and mint mark, but by the sharpness of strike, the luster of the surface, and the presence or absence of certain die varieties and mint errors. These mint marks themselves tell part of the story. The 1976 $1 coins were struck at 3 mints. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco coins with no mint mark were struck in Philadelphia, and those with a D or S represent Denver and San Francisco respectively. The San Francisco Mint was also responsible for producing the silver-clad versions, which are distinguishable by their bright white surfaces, heavier weight, and unique metallic composition of 40% silver and 60% copper. These coins were never intended for circulation and were sold directly to collectors in special packaging, but some of them have made their way into the public over the years, leading to confusion and excitement when found in circulation. And then there are the rare and unusual variations that elevate the 1976 Eisenhower dollar to legend among collectors. Some coins feature double dies where the design was stamped twice, creating a noticeable shadow effect around the letters and numbers. Some have off-center strikes, broad strikes, or other minting errors that make them unique. One specific variety that stands out is the Type 1 and Type 2 reverse designs, although both feature the same Liberty Bell over the moon layout. Type 1 coins struck early in production show a bolder, more blocky font with less detail in the earth behind the moon, while Type 2 coins struck later feature a finer, thinner font and more detailed background collectors. Consider Type 2 to be the more desirable of the two, especially in proof and silver examples. Over the decades since its release, the 1976 Eisenhower dollar has continued to grow in appreciation among coin collectors and historians alike. While the coin never achieved great popularity in circulation due to its large size and weight, it has become a staple of American numismatics due to its historical context, symbolic design, and the passion it inspires in those who study its origins today. Finding a pristine example, especially in silver or in high-grade proof condition, can bring considerable value and pride to collectors, with certain versions reaching high prices at auction and in private sales, depending on condition, rarity, and provenance. The coin also played a unique role in American culture during the 1970s, being distributed through banks' post offices, and even as part of government educational kits, it was promoted as a patriotic keepsake. A token of American progress and unity, and its presence in homes across the country served as a reminder of the nation's enduring story, from revolution to modern republic. The Eisenhower dollar was the last large-size dollar ever produced for general use, and by 1979 it was replaced by the much smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar, making the 1976 issue the last grand coin of its kind. Even today, the hunt continues. Collectors search coin rolls, estate sales, and old family albums, hoping to discover a forgotten gem, a silver treasure, or a rare error that could rewrite their collection's story and connect them directly to a moment when America paused to celebrate 200 years of freedom, honor, and change. The 1976 $1 coin remains more than a piece of money. It is a metal canvas carrying symbols of liberty, space, achievement, presidential legacy, and the dreams of a young nation entering its third century. And for those who appreciate its full story, every detail, every edge, every shine, and every flaw tells a piece of history worth holding on to. So what secrets does this coin hide? What makes it one of the most watched collectibles in the world, and why is it becoming a crown jewel for rare coin hunters? Find out in this deep journey into the story of the rare 1971 Eisenhower dollar, where we uncover the hidden stories and secret values behind rare American coins. Today, we take you on a powerful journey through the history of the 1971 $1 coin, also known as the Eisenhower dollar. This is not just another coin. This is a symbol of a new era in American numismatics, and it stands at the beginning of one of the most important chapters in coin collecting history. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was the first $1 coin issued by the United States Mint since the end of the Peace Dollar series in 1935. For 36 years, there was no circulating dollar coin. Then came this bold new creation born out of tribute and technology issued to honor General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States and the Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces during World War II. The coin also commemorated the Apollo 11 moon landing, making it the only U.S. coin to simultaneously honor a military leader and a major event in space exploration. This coin was not struck in silver for general circulation. Instead, it was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, while a limited number of special collector versions were minted in 40% silver from San Francisco, known as the blue and brown Ikes, depending on their packaging. The regular circulation coins came out of Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia version bears no mint mark, while the Denver version carries a small D mark beneath Eisenhower's neck on the obverse side. Let us go back in time to the year 1969, when Dwight D. Eisenhower passed away shortly after America successfully landed the first man on the moon. The United States Congress wanted to commemorate both these historic events, and so legislation was introduced to authorize a new $1 coin. The debates in Congress were long and passionate. Some wanted a silver dollar, others wanted to move away from silver altogether, with silver prices rising. The U.S. Mint needed a practical solution, and the final decision was to strike circulating coins in copper-nickel-clad and create collector issues in limited silver. The design of the Eisenhower dollar was entrusted to Frank Gasparo, who was then chief engraver of the United States Mint. Gasparo had the difficult task of capturing the heroic and presidential essence of Eisenhower and merging that with a bold reverse image that symbolized America's dominance in space. The obverse featured a strong side profile of President Eisenhower with the word "Liberty" above and the date 1971 below, and the national motto, "In God We Trust." The reverse is where the coin makes history with a unique design inspired by the Apollo 11 mission patch. It shows a bald eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch in its talons, with the Earth visible above. This symbol not only reflected peace, but also America's presence on the moon and its role in shaping the modern world in both war and exploration. It was the first and only time the moon was prominently featured on a large circulating coin. Collectors quickly embraced the coin, but it also sparked criticism due to its large size and weight. The Eisenhower dollar was the largest circulating coin since the end of the silver dollar era, and because of its bulkiness, it saw limited use in daily commerce. Many were kept in drawers, piggy banks, or never spent at all. This low circulation usage ironically helped preserve many coins in high grade, and today pristine examples of the 1971 Ike dollar in MS-65 or higher are highly collectible. Let us now look into the different varieties of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar. The most commonly known are the Philadelphia No Mint mark and the Denver D Mint mark, but the collector world was shaken when specialists discovered two major varieties of the 1971 D Eisenhower dollar. These are now known as Type 1 and Type 2 reverse varieties, with differences in the details of the Earth and the islands around Florida and the Caribbean. The Type 1 reverse has more pronounced and blocky islands, while Type 2 features delicate, smaller outlines. These subtle changes have created significant interest among collectors. Another interesting aspect of the 1971 dollar is the special collector issues the U.S. Mint released proof and uncirculated versions in silver. These were struck at the San Francisco Mint and targeted toward the numismatic community. The brown ike came in a hard plastic case with a brown box, while the blue ike came in a soft plastic package with a blue envelope. These were not meant for circulation and thus are often found in pristine condition today. Although not composed of 90% silver, their limited mintage and unique packaging make them highly desirable. Moving on to mintage numbers, the 1971 dollar saw large production totals, with the Philadelphia Mint producing over 106 million coins. The Denver Mint struck over 68 million coins, and the San Francisco Mint produced a combined total of nearly 7 million silver collector coins. However, while these numbers may seem high, survival rates in mint state are much lower, and values increase dramatically with condition rarity and the presence of unique varieties. Now let us dive into the coin's historical importance in the numismatic world. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was the first circulating dollar coin in clad metal. It was the first dollar coin in the modern era, and it set the stage for all future large dollar coins, including the Susan B. Anthony dollar, the Sacagawea dollar, and the presidential dollar series without the Eisenhower dollar. The pathway to these modern coin series may have never formed. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar bridged the gap between the silver past and the practical modern era. In recent years, the demand for Eisenhower dollars has grown, especially among younger collectors who are discovering this large, bold coin for the first time. Online platforms, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, have brought renewed attention to this once overlooked series, and collectors are now beginning to realize the hidden value in early Ike dollars like the 1971 issues. Some even speculate that as silver prices continue to fluctuate and vintage coin collecting gains popularity, the 1971 Eisenhower dollar will become even more valuable as a historical investment, especially the silver issues and the low-population high-grade pieces. We must also consider the educational importance of the coin. It teaches history, it shows artistry, it bridges American politics, war space, science, and economy, all in one disc of metal, and that's what makes it special more than a coin. The 1971 dollar is a symbol of American strength, leadership, and progress. To conclude, the journey of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar is not over. It continues to captivate collectors across the globe. It stands as a milestone in United States coinage. It honors a 5-star general and president. It celebrates mankind's greatest leap to the moon. It introduces a new coin material and format, and it sparks the passions of collectors new and old. This is why the 1971 Eisenhower dollar is not just worth its face value. It's worth the memory, the story, and the legacy it holds in the palm of your hand. This coin speaks without words, it holds history without pages, and it brings us all a little closer to the golden age of American greatness. Stay with us as we explore each version of the coin, each variety, each mint, and each collector tip that can help you identify the most valuable ones and build your own treasure from the past right here on the Rare American Coins channel.